10 minutes on the train from here and you're in the centre of London. Saying that, pretty much nobody visits this town. And of course we're talking about the town of Dartford. So today, join me as we go for a little walk around Dartford and we see why does no one come here. How bad can it be? And that, my friends, is the town library. And what a lovely library it is. In my town, it's literally just some 70s, 80s style, like block sort of slough looking building. But not in Dartford, you've got a bit of beautiful history over there. Don't know when it was built, but it looks nice. Now I'm surprised by Dartford as well. I thought it was just going to be your standard sort of outskirts of London town, but the more I look around, I think this is called Central Park, I believe. But there's so many beautiful flowers. It's the least manly thing I've ever said, but it is very beautiful. Excuse me, mate, what's the name of this park? Oh. I have no idea either, mate.
Dartford Park.
Dartford Park?
Yeah.
Fantastic, mate, cheers. It's called Dartford Park, not Central Park. I mean, admittedly, this doesn't look as good as, say, that area, because there's less sort of flowers and whatnot, but nonetheless, nice bit of green space. That's one thing that I do like about the UK compared to other places. Other places, you go to big cities, you know, even if those cities are lively or peaceful or whatever, those kind of places, they don't have very much green space, and it's quite hard to get away from the smog, the pollution, the noise, the people. Whereas in England, everywhere, obviously Dartford isn't the biggest place on the planet, but it's still fairly crowded in the main high streets. And you can come to a nice place like this and there's not too many people here at all. You can kind of just relax and enjoy yourself a little bit more. But there we go, that is Dartford Park. Don't think that guy was too happy me walking around with like a stick filming myself / him and asking him questions. He was like, sorry, what? And I think this is the issue with filming videos like this in the UK, is when you go to lesser visited places in the UK and you're obviously English, people are like, you're obviously here because it's bad, so screw you. Semi-understandable, to be honest. But when you go abroad and you're trying to show how nicer places or something like that, or even if you go into a lesser part of things, the locals are probably more curious than anything and potentially a bit more happy to see you. But it really depends. Like, there's been times where I've been off camera just holding the stick, particularly in the Gravesend videos and my London videos, where people have walked past me, vlogger, can I get in? Or there's just been nice people or like smiling or something. So it really depends who you meet, I think. It really does. And one thing you must know about Dartford is it used to be, back in the 1800s to 1700s, those kind of times, a massive marketing town, a massive market town. And people from London and Canterbury would meet in the middle and they would sell things and move things from one side of the country to the other. Back in the day, of course, London was still the capital city, but Canterbury was a lot more populous and a lot more important, should I say, than it is now, of course. And probably not as run down as it is now, unfortunately, as well. Let's go back into the town centre and see if there's anything else more to see, because I think there was a cool church at the end that I perhaps didn't see. But yeah, there we go. Here's Dartford Park and not Central Park, I think. Well, as you can see, this is basically where I've parked, so I'm going to walk into the town centre from here. But it looks like a fairly nice area, I would say. There's nothing I can really else say about it, really. I mean, but what would the town centre like? I mean, a lot of the times when I go to these places, the outskirts are nicer than the town centre, where when you're abroad, it's the opposite. Think of Romania, for example, a really, really good example. The town centre is very beautiful, one of the lowest crime rate countries in Europe. Everyone's very respectful and kind. Not like English people aren't, but that's what I noticed with Romanian people. They always get people's suitcases for them if they're a woman off the train, and all of that lovely stuff. Whereas here, of course, you don't really get the same extent of that. It's more of an older generation thing, unfortunately. But nonetheless, their town centres are very nice on the inside, and then as soon as you go to the outskirts, they're not dodgy or unsafe or anything like that. but of course you're getting these sort of ugly communist style Ceausescu skyscrapers, right? Or the tall buildings. So it's two worlds in one. Whereas in England, many towns and cities are just like Dartford, where the town centre, I have no idea, but judging from what I saw on Google Images, probably isn't going to look like this. Well, my first impression so far is there's quite a lot of modern buildings. I'm assuming this is just one area, but judging from the comments in my other Kent videos, Dartford has a fairly bad name for itself, so I'm quite surprised by these sort of buildings here. All very nice and modern really. Then you've got some old stuff here, looks semi-abandoned. Let's have a little look in the town centre. I believe it's literally just up there, judging by the Holland and Barrett, which means you know you're in a British town when you see a Holland and Barrett. Well, it's a different vibe to old Gravesend, I will say that. Yeah, this place is a very weird vibe. It's like sometimes you'll look at a shop or the people or just one particular street and you'll think it definitely looks like London or something like that. And then of course, like you can see up ahead over there, just looks like a normal sort of English village or something like that, you know. So it's very, very hard to make up his mind. Definitely one of the most mixed cities or towns I've ever been to. I mean, you've got shops like Iceland and piri-piri chicken places. Those kind of like London-y big city places. But then at the same time, you've got those sort of nice like country pub sort of vibes and beautiful churches and that sort of thing. Very weird sort of vibe. I mean, look at this, it's bloody lovely. You go down another street and it's bloody awful. No in between, no here in between in Dartford. Hello. This is the mall, guys. Exciting stuff. Well, I'm not gonna lie guys, there's not much to do here. I mean, this is why it's not very visited, because there's just not very much going on. I mean, it has a town centre, it is just average. Some streets are pretty nice, to be honest, like above average, and then some other streets are very bad, you know, and you'll get buildings like that. There's an abandoned pub because beer prices are so expensive that no one wants to buy a pint anymore because they're mostly taxed these days. As a result, no one's going in them. So I think Dartford is not very visited because there's just not very much to do. It's got a little bit of character here and there, but I wouldn't say there's anything to write home about. Your best bet is to go to places like Canterbury, Gravesend if you want something a little bit more underrated. I've heard similar things about Ashford, so possibly the next video. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.